Today's Edpuzzle is going to talk about the difference between searching for a source and doing research. In order to do well on this project, you need to do both of these steps. The first step is searching for your sources. Using Gale to find your sources isn't always easy. Sometimes Gale will tell you that there aren't sources available when actually there are. A couple of ways that you can get around this technological issue is to make sure that you're using the advanced search feature. We're going to go over that later on in the video. This is also a reminder that you are not limited to just news articles. Gale has a wide variety of sources available, from interviews, that these also include newspaper articles, but videos of a news report or audio recordings of a radio show. And you should be using a wide variety of sources. So all four of your sources from Gale should not be reference materials, or they all shouldn't be news articles. You should have some variety in your sources. Researching is what happens after you have found all of your sources. Most likely, you will not find one article that will talk about human rights and your topic. It's very rare that you'll find in the title of the article human rights violations in wherever you are looking for. Instead, what's going to happen is that your critical reading skills are going to make that connection for you. You are going to read an article that's talking about a problem that's happening somewhere in the world, and you are going to go back to your notes about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and see where the human rights violations are happening. Later on, when you start writing, your explanatory writing skills are going to make that connection clear to your audience as well. This is where your careful, diligent note-taking becomes essential to being successful in this project. So now we're going to talk about what this idea of searching versus researching actually looks like when you're using Gale and the resources that we have provided for you. So for the purposes of this video, my research question is going to be, what are the root problems and or causes of Islamophobia in France? Now, if I go onto Gale, and just for the purposes of my own security, I sign in using Google so that all of my sources are linked to my jpender@cuhsd.com email, but that's only for the session that I'm logged into. So as soon as I log out of this Chromebook, all of the sources that I saved will disappear. So say Islamophobia is my broader topic, and I want to narrow it down to Islamophobia in France. Oh, it'd be really great if I could spell it right the first time. I'm going to start off just looking at the Islamophobia topic page, because I know that this is going to give me some nice background information that I'm definitely going to need for my research paper. So if I scroll down, this topic page will tell me all of the different sources that are available for me. So I can see that there are 71 reference pieces, there are 23 images, 9,105 news articles, 115 audio, and 46 video, along with academic journals, magazines, and websites, primary sources, biographies. So I have a wide variety of sources to choose from, which means that all four of my sources should not be news articles. I should have some of this multimedia sources in here as well. If I scroll down, I can see that from this reference page, this is probably where I'm going to get a lot of my background information about Islamophobia. It won't be specific to France, but it'll be a nice way to introduce my topic and to get some sort of background information on this problem as a global problem. If I come down to the news sources, I'll see again that not all of these news sources are going to be related to my region. So why one Oklahoma lawmaker is targeting American Muslims doesn't have anything to do with my research topic, because Oklahoma is in the United States. Say I wanted to come down and I found 2 news articles already, and I wanted to look at the videos. I know that there are 46 videos, but again, not all of them are going to be related to my research topic. I can see this from the White House Summit on Countering Extremism. I know, again, White House means the U.S., so it's not helpful. But if I come down here, I do see some videos of burqas not being welcome in France. This is from 2009, though, so maybe I want to try and find a source that's a little bit more recent. And then I look over here and I can see Islamic faith schools keeping veil in French classrooms. This is from 2011, so this is a video that I would most likely use. I might save it so that I can look at it later in this classroom, or in this class period, excuse me, but I want to make sure that I save it somewhere else later on. Say my source or my topic was a little bit more specific and I was having trouble finding sources and maybe getting frustrated with Gale along the way. I can come over here to the advanced search option. Maybe I'm looking for my topic, but I'm really struggling to find sources that talk about my region. So if I look for Islamophobia, again, that's my topic. It definitely needs to be a keyword in my search. But I want to make sure that my document title is going to talk about France because I'm tired of finding sources about my topic that don't relate to my research question. So I'm going to make sure that it's in the document title. I'm going to make sure that I click the full text document so that I don't get anything that's like a abstract or an excerpt. I want the full article. And here I have a much more specific and narrowed down section of my research. I have 3 global viewpoints, still 62 news articles, and 1 magazine. So I am going to start with this source. Islamophobia rises in France as identity economic crises meet. I'm going to see that this is a news article that's pretty recent, 2013. And I'm going to come down and see what I can tell about the source. I could definitely find this on its original source, so I'm going to use this as one of my sources. In order to do that, I need to, not copy all of that, just copy the text of the article so that I can copy it onto the. So this is where we're going to get to the research part of the searching and researching assignment. I have found my sources found a source from Gale, and that's the researching part. Here is where I have to do the arguably harder part and actually find out whether or not this source is going to help me in my research to answer my research question. So here I am on my source number 1. I have my research question: what are the root problems and or causes of Islamophobia in France? And for the purposes of this video, I'm going to imagine that I had already filled out all of this stuff. I searched Islamophobia in France, and I have the title up here, and I've included the citation and the OPVL potential. Now I'm going to paste what I've already copied, which is the entire text of the article. The entire text goes here, not just little clips and snippets. I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. I'm going to get rid of the listen, and I don't really need the Lexile measure of this text. I might even move the title of the article here just for my own sake. Oops. Again, it'd be really great if I could spell Islamophobia right. I'm only going to read through the first paragraph for the purposes of this video, but you're going to do this for every single paragraph in this article. You're going to closely read and annotate. I'm going to annotate using some of my tools on Google Docs. I'm going to use the highlighting tool. I will probably be using some underlining and some bolding as well. So here we go. The title of my text is Islamophobia Rises in France as Identity Economic Crises Meet. A number of attacks against Muslims in recent months in France have put Islamophobia into focus, which analysts believe stems from an identity crisis French society has been going through as a part of the turbulence modernity is experiencing, coupled with people's social and economic fears. So I am going to be using a system to mark the text, and I'd suggest that you use the same system for all 4 of your sources. I'm probably going to be using a specific color, maybe not to highlight. Maybe I don't want to highlight. Maybe I want to change the color of the text of certain key terms because there's no circle button on Google Docs. Oops. So, nope, I don't want to do that. Say I want to circle some key terms, but instead of circling, I'm going to change the text color. I'm going to put Muslims, France, Islamophobia. I probably will also put identity crisis because that seems like it's going to be really important. It's also in the title of the text. Modernity seems to be another term that will probably be important. And I'm also maybe going to highlight this idea of social and economic fears. I want to make sure that I switch over to highlight before I do this. I am also maybe going to put stems from an identity crisis as another highlighted text. Okay. And I'm also going to put down here in the soft notes section that I'm not quite sure what this means. I think that it means that the rise in hate crimes or prejudice that we see is because of society's fears. And I'm sure that later on in the article, it will go into more detail about that. I could also be totally wrong. This is just the first paragraph. If it's wrong, then I'm going to come back and change these notes. But this is the part that is the researching part of your assignment, is that you need to be going back and closely reading, annotating the text, taking diligent notes on your sources in order to make that connection to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. One other suggestion that I might put is that if you see anything in your article that you think will be helpful later on when you're writing your paper. Maybe it's a quote that you absolutely need to include. Maybe it's a piece of evidence that would be wonderful if it was paraphrased. You could do a number of things. You could highlight it and choose a different color for your highlighting. You can also come over here and add a comment. And in your comment section, you could write something like potential quote to include, or maybe use as paraphrased evidence. This is going to come in handy and make the writing of your paper go a lot faster, the more diligent notes that you take this time around. All right, that's our lesson today. So good luck with searching on Gale, and